Grand Line, called the Greatest Sea, the most dangerous place in the world, as well as the Pirate's Graveyard, is an ocean that circumvents the world of One Piece and is perpendicular to the Red Line. Check out my previous Road to One Piece video for more information about the world map. The Grand Line is split into two parts. The first half is referred to as Paradise by those who make it to the second half. The second half is known as the New World. Despite the Grand Line's reputation, many ordinary people live on the many individual islands scattered along the ocean. But due to the unpredictable climate and sea, there are some islands that remain undiscovered or unchanged for thousands of years. Getting into the Grand Line is the first obstacle for any adventurer or pirate travelling from the Blue Seas. The whole of the Grand Line is surrounded by calm belts, where the waters and winds are still year-round. Coupled with the fact that the calm belt is the home of the Sea Kings, which are gigantic sea monsters, the calm belt is unpassable. However, the Marines have a secret means to travel across this hazardous sea. I'll cover more on that in another video. The only way into the Grand Line for those not related to the government is to travel over Reverse Mountain. Reverse Mountain is situated on the Red Line, and it is at a point where the four blues meet. There are strong sea currents that travel up waterways to the mountain's peak and then flow down into the Grand Line. Travellers battle the storm that surround the mountain and use these currents to enter the Grand Line. Many travellers die before they even reach the mountain's peak because the strong currents and storm force them to crash into the mountain walls. The Grand Line cannot be travelled across using normal means, i.e. using a compass and chart. Compasses do not work in the Grand Line because each island in the Grand Line are rich in different minerals. This means that each island has its own magnetic field, and as a result there exists a geomagnetic anomaly across the Grand Line. In order to navigate the Grand Line, a special compass known as a log pose must be used. The log pose works by locking onto an island's magnetic field, and after reaching that island, it will lock onto another island's magnetic field. From the entrance of the Grand Line, there exist 7 different routes a traveller using a log pose can take to travel the sea. These routes diverge from Reverse Mountain and travel east before merging again in the New World at the last island, Raftel. To help navigate the Grand Line, there also exists a special log called an Eternal Pose. This version of the log pose is permanently set to a specific island and can never change. They can be used to bypass the process of setting a normal log pose, as on some islands the log pose takes years to set before locking onto another island. The Grand Line's unpredictable climate is also a reason many people die navigating the sea. The sea currents and weather are extremely volatile and they can change in an instant. This includes waterspouts, storms, blizzards, cyclones and other such things. Islands in the surrounding waters are the only areas where the weather and currents are stabilized in a predictable manner. The reason is that the islands on the Grand Line fall into 4 basic categories: summer, spring, autumn and winter. Each type of island have 4 seasons of their own, giving the Grand Line a total of 16 different seasons. For example, a winter island will have its own summer, spring, autumn and winter, but it will remain cold during these seasons. While travelling along the Grand Line, some travellers will find their log pose pointing towards the sky, and using a special current called the knock-up stream, travel to Sky Island. I will talk more about this topic in another video. The first half of the Grand Line ends when you reach the Red Line. However, continuing on to the New World requires travelling in a different fashion. There are 2 ways to enter the New World. The first requires permission from the world government to cross the Red Line via the holy capital, Marijoa. You would have to abandon your ship and get a new one on the other side. This option is a safe way to enter the New World, but outlaws like the Straw Hats can only access the New World by using the sea floor route by Fishman Island. This route consists of coating one ship with a special substance which allows the ship to dive into the depths of the Grand Line and pass through a hole in the Red Line directly below Marijoa. The standard log pose is not good enough for the New World due to the fact that some islands change or completely lose their magnetic fields at random, which may leave a crew stranded if they rely on a single log pose. The New World's log pose has 3 different needles, and each needle represents a different island and the stability of the island's magnetic field. The Straw Hats are currently in the New World, but have only ventured to a few islands so far. Eventually, the Grand Line ends at Reverse Mountain, with the last island being the infamous Raftel, where One Piece is supposedly located.
この船がたとえどんな怪奇な事態に飲み込まれようとも、たとえどんなパニックに陥ろうとも、ログポースだけは疑ってはいけない。これは鉄則よ。この海では疑うべきものはむしろ頭の中にある常識の方。その指針の先には必ず島がある。